Hey guys, I got a great story for you today. It's it's really a very interesting one. It's sad, but it's something that we all can relate to and something that we've seen happen with, I'm sure, with one of your friends, or I know I've seen it with one of mine, and we know at least somebody this has gone through this. So let's really just get right into it right now. This story was submitted by an individual. He didn't want to give his name. Usually, as you know, I'll just use the first name, and then sometimes I'll use the city where they're from or at least the location. He didn't even want to give that. He asked that I did not give the city. He said that I could use a large city close to him, so I'm going to use Toledo, Ohio, okay, which is nearby. But he did give me a good pseudonym, and I think I'm going to keep up with this tradition because, you know, even though I'm 60 years old, I still love farts and jokes. And he gave the name he wanted to be known by as Holden Micock. So this one's for you, Holden. This is your story, and I hope others out there can relate to it, help Holden, and let's get into this. Holden is a 45-year-old man. He's been married to his high school sweetheart. They've been together since they were 17. At least he says he was 17 at the time. She may be a little bit younger, a little bit older, I don't know. But I'm sure they're about the same age. And they've had a teenage romance that's continued on. Holden says within the last couple of years, he's noticed things starting to drift apart. And it's come to the point where she, over the last couple of years, she would go out with her coworkers, her friends, one night a week where she would socialize with. And Holden said, hey, that's totally fine. He was happy with that. He wants, he believes that, she should have her freedom, she should have her friends, and that is something that's natural, which I'm in agreement with, that is. But the issue became, it not only started with one night a week or one night every other week, but then it became 2 nights a week. And then oftentimes it was 3 nights a week. And it would be, instead of just a happy hour, she would be out later. Holden said he confronted her about this and asked her, and she kind of put the pressure back on him, telling him that he was being unreasonable. She should be allowed to have her friends. She should be allowed to see her friends after work and socialize. And Holden said he immediately withdrew from that, and he just basically became a person that, he wanted to please his wife, which many of us who have gone through this, had marriages, we know that it's about, you want to please the spouse. Well, Holden then noticed that it also became a point where she would go out with her work husband. Now, we all know, we've heard about those, right? A close opposite sex worker, and in this case, a male worker that she works with. And they're supposedly somebody that they work with close to every day. And she said she would go out with him for those happy hours. Then instead of the group now, it became just her and this male coworker. Then because of that, Holden questioned that and the appropriateness of that with his wife. She again pushed back on him and said that he was being unreasonable, that it was totally natural. Everybody did that. They were co-workers. She should be able to have friends that are of the opposite sex, and that he was actually causing friction in the marriage because of his unreasonable demands, questioning her about going out with this guy. Holden described how he did not want anything on his part to affect the marriage. And he started to think that he was being unreasonable, that she was being upfront about it. So if she's telling him about these things, maybe he is believing something that is just not there. And then he said he acquiesced to her demands. But as time went on, and remember, this is going over a period of years, as time went on, she soon became not one night a week, but multiple nights a week with this male coworker and all the other coworkers now are out of the picture. And then it became weekends. And he said that he confronted her about this, that was totally unreasonable for her to be going out with somebody on the weekends. And she said, hey, there's no romance, there's nothing going on between us, it is strictly platonic, and that she needed to decompress about things that have occurred during the work week, and she needed someone who understood what she was going through with all the stresses of work. And she couldn't bring that to Holden himself because he didn't work there. He didn't understand what she was going through because he wasn't experiencing it himself. And she needed that other individual to help her. And actually, by Holden allowing her to see this man and kind of vent about work, was actually making their marriage stronger, according to her, because she was being able to take these stresses from work and get rid of them, and then bring home a happier person to Holden. Holden describes himself as kind of a timid individual who does want to please his wife in every aspect. He wants to make sure that she is happy in their marriage, because again, they've been married and been together since he was 17. So really, over almost all their lives, over half their life, they've been together, and that is very important to him, to make sure that she stays happy. So Holden says he acquiesced again about this, and he said, okay, anything to make our marriage better, I will do. Well, then Holden noticed that in the last 6 months since this happened, she stayed out all night, on more one occasion. Holden says he's been very afraid to confront this. He believes that she may be cheating on him, but he doesn't want to believe that. And he describes himself as very afraid. And then he eventually writes that he's very afraid of facing her about this, because she may just pack up and leave. And he considers himself lucky to have her, and he wonders if a portion of her is better than nothing of her. So if he gets some time with her, that's better than nothing. And then he also finally puts that he is extremely afraid of what we've all faced before as grown adult men. He's extremely afraid of growing old alone. Now he's asking, what should he do? Because he describes further onto this, is, I want to put in there that she stayed out all night on numerous occasions, to the point where he'll sit at the kitchen table waiting for her to come home, hoping to hear the keys entering the lock. She doesn't come home. He'll go into bed, he'll stare at the ceiling, and he'll wait for her to come in, oftentimes at over past 7, 8 o'clock in the morning on a weekend. She'll come in, give him a little peck on the cheek, immediately go into the shower, and then go into bed and go to sleep. Totally disengaging from him, not acknowledging anything that's happened. And when he has confronted her about it, she again pushes the blame onto him, saying that he is being too he's being a person that's being too aggressive toward her, asking her all these questions when he should be trusting her. And she says there is nothing going on between them. There is no romance, there's nothing. It's just a fellow coworker. Okay. There's a lot to unravel with this one. I mean, I have not ever told anybody that they should immediately seek a divorce, because a divorce is something that each man has to make up their own mind. Each person has their own level of tolerance that they can take, what they want to forgive. Doesn't mean you'll forget, but what they want to forgive of their partner and what they want to seek counseling or how to repair the marriage and try to get it back on track. So that is a personal decision. Okay, with that being said, if it was me, okay, and I was in your shoes, Holden, okay, I would have my bags packed, I would be heading out the door, and I would already have myself a place before I even did this. I would have it set up for me. I would already have an attorney set up, and I would be having her served. And the reason I say that is it's in my position, okay, just me. This is me saying that. The reason I say that is because a woman who is going to tell you that they're not doing anything, put the pressure on you because you are being too overbearing to be asking her what the hell she is doing, going out with a guy from work on multiple occasions, not coming home at night, and then saying that it's your fault when deep down you know she's screwing around with this guy. She's coming home, she's going into the shower, washing off the sex from the night before, and then she is going to bed and hoping that you'll ignore everything. And you'll just continue on because she's able to do it. You are allowing her to do it. Now, my advice for you is you have to figure out what you want out of this. Okay? Do you want to continue on like this? Because my thinking is you've already taken that first step. You've already taken, because you've sent in telling us your story. You want the opinion of others out there who have gone through what you are contemplating, and you want them to give you the encouragement to take that next step. It's like you are the person at the AA meeting. You are ready to stand up and say, I'm Holden Micock and I'm an alcoholic. You're ready. Only you're ready to step out the door. You know deep down in your heart that she's cheating on you. There's no question. There is no question. There's not one other individual out there that is going to hear your story and that's going to believe that she was doing something innocent. What I want you to do, if this will help you, put yourself in, if you have a brother, put yourself in your brother's position and think of your wife as your sister-in-law, and she's doing the exact same thing to your brother. What would you tell your brother? And you looked at it from an outsider's viewpoint and saw everything that's going on. What would you do to your brother? You would tell him the same thing that I'm telling you. Pack your stuff and run. Now, it is your decision to make, but it is not going to get better. It is totally not going to get better. The hurt that you're feeling in your heart right now is only going to get worse because her behavior is going to get worse. She's not going to come home for days at a time, or one day worse, you're going to come home, you're going to be met with a restraining order on some made up bullshit, and you're going to find yourself out of your house, not able to come in. This same guy is laying on your couch in his underwear, drinking your beer out of your fridge, and then sleeping in your bed at night while you pay the rent. That's what's going to happen. Everyone here knows it. You need to get yourself some help right now. You need to make your decision what you want to do. We're here to give you guidance on what we think we would do, like I've just told you, but it's your decision what to do. But let me tell you, it will not get better. So Holden, I thank you for at least getting here, telling us your story, hoping that you will see this is I've sent you an email before I posted this. I want everybody here that's looking at this to please write a comment on what you think Holden should do. Because that's part of this whole thing is, and the way I've changed it around is, I really want people on this channel to send in their comments so the person who I'm writing about and telling their story, they can see what is going on. They can see what others who have gone through divorce, who are going through divorce, who are contemplating divorce or a breakup or what have you, as an older man, what they would do based upon their experience. So brothers like Holden can have the courage to make the right decision. And a final thought for you, Holden. Every one of us that is watching this has gone through that feeling that you're feeling. That feeling of, I don't want to grow old alone. Believe me, that is an extremely emotional feeling for every one of us. But let me tell you, as an older man, if you decide to go and get a divorce and go through the process, I want you not to say anything to her. I want you to see a lawyer first, get your plan in action, get it created, and as soon as you hit execute, you know exactly what is going to go on. You are the one that is taking steps and you're executing that plan before she even knows what's going on. So you have your finances in order. You make sure that you know what the bank accounts are, what the amounts are, what everything is. She's not running up the bank accounts behind your back, the credit cards. And you have everything in a plan and you have a place to go to. Okay? And the reason I say that is a lot of guys are going to say, hey, don't move out, just stay there. It's emotionally draining. She, 9 times out of 10, is going to get that place anyway. It's emotionally draining, fighting over it, that she's going to get it anyway. She can't sell it. She can't do anything else. At least get your peace of mind. Get your peace of mind away from her, not seeing her, not being around her. It will help you immensely. That's my recommendation on that. And know that there is life left. Even after this divorce, you're going to go through some tough times. We all have. Every single one of us that is watching this right now, and then is writing comments for you, and is there to support you, have gone through this, and we all have gone through some deep, dark times. But know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. It will get better. It will get better, and you will find that there is, a life after wife. Okay, so appreciate you sending us your information. I ask anybody else who's watching this, if you would like to submit your story on what's going on or what has happened to you in the past, so we can get it out there to others so they can chip in and help others in our same situation. Please email me at talkingdivorceafterwife@yahoo.com. I will get back and forth with you. I try to be as complete as possible. I'll condense it down. I'll get back to you if I have any questions on it. But I will send you an email once I start, right before I publish the video. That way you can look for the comments on there and you know when it's coming out, and that can help you. So I thank you, brothers. Until the next one.